This is the Akai ME20A Midi Sequencer Arpeggiator from 1986. And it's quite the oddball box really, and today we're checking it out. If you check out the original ad from 1986, the brochure from Akai, you can see that they had three MIDI processors. You had the MIDI delay, you had the MIDI dynamics processor, and you had the ME20A arpeggiator sequencer. Before Akai became off-white with their tagline, Akai Professional. Before Akai made the S612 and paved their way into the professional market, they were a hi-fi manufacturer making tape recorders and stuff like that, and you can really see that in the design of the 612 and these MIDI processors, in my opinion. They look very sleek though in black, and I really love their appearance. And so there are two ways to program this. You can program a sequenced pattern, or you can program a chord progression. So let's do that first. I press the chord button. I'm in recording mode right now, and I play the first chord. Check out the MIDI message lights up, and now it's all depending on the step button, which acts as a rest button. How many times I press that to hold that chord or hold that rest. I can do everything from whole notes down to quarter notes, depending on how many times I press that step button. When I'm done, I press stop. And this is the chord progression I just recorded. And so to play that back, well, you just press play. And so now I can play with those three knobs to the right. The first one, speed, well, that changes the speed, obviously. And I can also change the MIDI gate values. This is, of course, MIDI. It's not audio I'm processing here. And I can change the MIDI dynamics, but it's all depending on what MIDI synth you're using if it responds to MIDI velocity. By pressing the up or down, I play the individual notes in those chords up or down instead. Now, if I add a bit of reverb and audio delay and treat this as a performance box, then I can have some fun. The memory makes it possible to record up to 128 chord patterns or 957 mono notes. So let's do another one to see what else we can do. With the help of that step button, rests, I can do some more creative rhythmic patterns. So let's check that back by pressing stop and then play. So let's change out the synth sound and add some reverb delay again. Unfortunately, the Akai headquarters were plagued by brain damage at the time because you cannot sync this to anything. There's no sync going out and there's no sync coming in. Why Akai made this ridiculous decision back in the time? Well, your guess is as good as mine. But if you check out my unit here, you can see that jack port. This is outputting a clock signal. So this has been modded and it can act as a master in this setup. It cannot sync in, but it can output a clock for a drum machine or a sequencer to follow along if that's what you want. Oh, and by the way, the synth I've been using during this whole demonstration is the Ture from Fred's lab. And so to close off this little video, I've recorded a bass pattern using that pattern recording mode. Check out the video description for more info. As always, I'm Espen Kraft and I am the 80s. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Cheers!